Hey everybody, this is Heartless Spartan here with another Monster High Toy Talk video. Now, in this video today, I'll be looking at kind of not so much addressing, but more so discussing the recently released Buried Secrets wave of Monster High dolls. Now, I have a whole menagerie out in front of me here. It's all Clouding Wolf because Clouding Wolf's just kind of the first one that I opened up out of the wave. And I have multiple examples for that here. But we'll actually just kind of take a look at the doll in question here. Now, this is the one that actually came out of the Buried Secrets box that I have over on my left here. I have another one there. But, I mean, if we look at the doll that comes out of the box, it's a really cute doll. Comes with the, the nice cloth stitched outfit. We don't get like the printed Barbie dresses. We actually get a little bit of a high quality outfit on the Monster High dolls, and they kind of stuck with that here. The hair is still nice. This one, though, has a little bit of box hair going on with it. Of course, very cute paint on the face and everything. I think with these, so far, the biggest issue or concern that keeps coming up, or that I'm hearing about, including my own, is the lack of elbow and knee articulation. And then if we look at this hand here, it's also twisted so that it can kind of rest on the hip to give her that pose, as opposed to this hand here. So that's just kind of like the biggest differences compared to regular wave doll. Now, it is really nice, but I think what a lot of adult collectors and young adult collectors are expecting when they get a Monster High doll is the level of quality and articulation, much like this. Now, this one is actually, because this was my own solution to this, was just to get a regular wave doll and just head swap them so that I can actually get like the articulated version. Now, my solution was just to get some extra dolls because I have enough income to manage that perfectly fine, and just head swap it and get the articulated doll body that I wanted for the Buried Secrets doll here. So, I mean, that's how the articulation can get kind of addressed, but I don't think that's the only issue, given the lack of articulation. I think what a lot comes up with when we see this kind of doll again, and I say again because several years ago, Mattel rebooted their Monster High doll line. So a lot of the adult collectors are going to kind of remember this, and it kind of brings up a sense of fear because that reboot doll line kind of killed the line. It was a serious drop in quality because the lack of articulation and the drop of the quality became the norm. So I can see this kind of sense of kind of dread or fear in the community that now that Mattel has this kind of tooling for these non-articulated dolls, that they might try to make this the new norm, rather than continuing with the higher quality articulated dolls with the regular kind of released waves. So there's two major concerns when it comes to that articulation. Now, there is a pro to having the lack of articulation, because if you consider who this is for, it's going to be targeted towards younger children. Not so much the adult collectors or the young adult collectors, because this would actually be better for younger children, because younger children lack the fine motor skills to kind of handle the articulated dolls. So this would actually be really good for a younger child to play with. And, if you give a younger child a doll like this, I mean, they're just going to absolutely love it to death. I mean, I don't see them not wanting to play with that. And they'll be able to actually handle the doll a little bit better because I've seen younger kids try to play with kind of the regular articulated fashion dolls, and they're their limbs and stuff are going all over the place because they just don't have the fine motor skills and articulation in their own hands to kind of handle that as well. Which is why a lot of Barbies are also kind of stiff-legged in that as well. Now, another big concern here is that, at least in the community, I don't know if Mattel itself really kind of marketed it this way, but it sounds like in the community it's being considered a budget line. I don't know if Mattel actually claimed that it is or if it isn't. But if it is considered a budget line, or at least even whether or not it's considered a budget line, if I name any price points here, it's going to be in like United States dollars, and it's just going to be kind of rounded up to the nearest dollar without tax included, just because tax varies. Now, I've only seen these on Amazon so far. I haven't seen these in stores. And on there, it's like $15 a doll. So $15 for the Buried Secrets, but $25 for like the regular wave dolls. Now, my issue with this is that if it's supposed to be budget, or even if it's $15 a doll, what I find most frustrating and irritating is that it's a blind box. Yeah, okay, so you have the potential to get one of these 4 dolls. Maybe. Is there a 5th one? I don't know. I'm only seeing the 4 there. Okay. But really, when it comes to the blind boxes, especially for like one of the larger dolls, I take serious issue with this, because there's no indicators on the outside of the box that tells you which one is in there. So when I ordered these, let's see, there's there's 4 dolls that you could potentially get. So I ordered 6 of them. At $15 a piece, I spent like $90 just to end up with all 4 of the dolls. So I sort of lucked out there, because I opened, 5 of them? I ended up with a duplicate Claudine and then one other duplicate that I didn't open. So I kind of lucked out there. But you'd have to continue spending more money and opening up the sealed package that you then can't return to the store to get the dolls that you want. And I find that extremely egregious. Now, Monster High has done like the blind bag and blind box stuff before. I mean, I bought one of the potions, and I got like a little Spectra. I only figured that out, after I opened it. There was no indicator on there either to tell me which one I was getting. But I mean, these were like $10 a piece, and I'm like, I'm not spending that much money for that. The potion bottle is kind of neat, but I didn't think it was worth it. Like, there's enough we got to deal with without having to like gamble to get the toys that we want. I think that's ridiculous. Now, I can go off on a whole rant about why I dislike the blind bag gambling policies, and maybe the Mattel legal team's kind of freaking out right now, being like, let's lawyer up, you said the G word. I don't think Mattel's as bad as like the gaming industry is when it comes to like loot boxes and things like that. But I'm seeing so much of the blind bag stuff become so popular, and I find it just absolutely ridiculous. Now, I am actually going to bring up Mattel's competition, because NGA with their Na surprise dolls, they weren't total surprises, because they had like a little symbol somewhere on the package that indicates which figure or doll was inside of it. So to a kid, it might come across as a surprise, but the older kids, or like the parents, when you get the little packet on the inside that tells you like which dolls or figures come in the potential wave, and then it has the little coordinated symbols, and you can check it off like, hey, these are the ones that I'm collecting, these are the ones that I have. But there's no indicator on this, and it's like $15, and you got to spend at least $100 to try to get the whole wave of the dolls, and that's ridiculous. And then if you end up with sealed duplicates, lucky enough like me, that you have to then struggle with a return. And all Mattel really had to do was, when they package it, instead of having this flap here, have that one on the outside so that they could actually see which doll they have the potential to get. But then, of course, like, Amazon was just selling these as one listing, and you got whatever random one you got. Now, if these were on store shelves, they'd be able to pick their favorite character and actually get the dolls they want without blowing a bunch of extra money and then getting burned on having a bunch of duplicate dolls at full price. So that's not how I'm quite viewing this as a budget line, is because if it was a budget line, it wouldn't be a blind box line, because that's just egregious practice, and I kind of find that ignorant and disgusting. You know, I'm not a fan at all of the blind bag and blind box sales. Now, myself, with the disposable well, I'm not entirely disposable income, but I have some extra money. I'm working 2 full-time jobs, so I got some extra money to just buy extra dolls that are on sale, like a regular articulated core wave doll. I mean, this one was on sale for the holidays and didn't quite survive the holiday shipping very well. But I opened one of those up and just head swapped it onto the body, so I got the version that I wanted. Because then when I just head swap it, I mean, you might not even initially be able to tell. So then I have the non-articulated body on here, and this was a pretty good fit for this one. Because normally I just have this one displayed in pretty much exactly that same pose anyways. So that works out for me. I'm going to do the same with the other dolls that I'm going to review. But at the same time, now I'm going to have to return the sealed one here. Because now I'm going to be head swapping these, so I actually get the articulated doll that I want. Now, they'd be, as I said earlier, they'd be fantastic for little kids. But that's if the younger kids could actually pick out the doll that they wanted. Which comes down to that blind box policy, which just infuriates me. They really needed like some kind of indicator on there to show which doll is on the inside. So a lot of the issues and concerns surrounding the Buried Secrets line include our lack of articulation, the consideration of a budget line, the fear of the new norm, kind of like the reboot quality drop that people are afraid of happening again, and just the fact that it's a blind box sales pitch that you can't just pick the doll you want and buy it. Now, in the past, they have released the day out dolls, which were a little bit cheaper depending on where you actually managed to find them at. But those day out dolls were very hard to come by. I've only ever seen them on store shelves in one store, and that was only very recently. And I actually saw them at Meijer's in my area. And even then, I think they were kind of, I'm not sure, because the price tags were kind of switched around and people were picking things up off the shelves and everything. But I think they're almost like $18 a doll, maybe. I mean, don't take my word for that one, because I'm not sure what the actual price tag was listed as, because they were just kind of all over the shelves. But I mean, otherwise, I've seen day out dolls getting scalped all over the place too online, because they can't be found in the stores. So how is that a budget line also if they're not available anywhere? And the thing about those day out dolls is that they were also articulated. So if I have any kind of fear coming out of this, is that they continue to try to do the blind box sales pitch combined with the drop in quality and try to make this the new norm. Because none of the adult collectors want to see a repeat of the reboot line. So I kind of hope I addressed kind of some of the concerns that other people were sharing. I mean, feel free to discuss this in the comments, but do your best to be polite. We can keep the discussion going without just kind of losing our minds. Otherwise, like, if you're an adult collector like me and you have a little bit of extra money, you can spend the extra $10 to $15 for a doll that's on sale and just head swap it to get the version that you want. But the only way to get the 4 dolls that we want is to just kind of take the gamble and spend that extra money to try to get the ones that are in the full set. So hopefully Mattel will kind of refrain from doing this in the future and just give us, if they're going to do a budget line doll for like younger children, at least make it so that they can actually get the dolls that they want. Because if you have a limited amount of money that you could spend or a limited income, then you'll buy one of these, end up with potentially a doll that you don't want. Or even if you get a doll that you do want, you wanted to get another one, you then run the risk of spending that rare extra money that you have to spend on a toy, getting a duplicate that you don't want. Or that the doll you don't want. It's not worth that expenditure, and they might as well just save up the extra $10 or so to get one of the core dolls and one of the versions that they actually want and they can see and that they know that they're getting. So that's the better bet, and that's one of the things that kind of also upsets me about that as well. So that was just kind of my thoughts on the Buried Secrets line. As I said, I hope it kind of addressed some of our thoughts on that. If there's anything else you think I missed, or you have a question about that, or what I think of it, feel free to put that in the comments as well. I will also continue just kind of reviewing the Buried Secrets dolls every other week, just as I go according to plan, unless something else comes out. But I'm not really seeing any other kind of orders up for any other Monster High stuff this year. So we'll wait and see if any pre-orders pop up for anything new in January. This has been Heartless Spartan. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.